Have you heard of the placebo effect? Maybe you have in regards to the medical field, but what about when it comes to manifesting? Some critics say it's just placebo effect, but actually, the placebo effect proves that your consciousness affects matter. If believing in your power changes your biology, shifts your behavior, transforms your reality, then your belief is literally creating material change. That's not fake magic, that's actually quantum physics. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the placebo effect to manifest anything, how to harness the same power that heals bodies to create the reality you want. I work with high achievers who want more in every area of their life. More love, more money, more freedom, more success. And one of the most powerful things I teach my clients is this: your belief creates your reality. Not sometimes, not maybe, always. This isn't just spiritual woo-woo. This is science. Dr. Joe Dispenza wrote an entire book called Are the Placebo Effect, documenting case after case of people who healed themselves through belief alone. People who cured cancer, who walked again after being paralyzed, who reversed chronic diseases, not through medicine, through belief. And Neville Goddard taught the same thing decades earlier. Your assumptions create your reality. That what you believe to be true becomes true. Same principle, different words. Your belief is the most powerful creative force you have. And once you understand how to use it, once you see how the placebo effect actually works, you can manifest anything. If you're new here, hello, I am your Muse Traci. On this channel, I help you unlock the power you already have but can't access. I help you break through where years of trying has failed. And the biggest hurdle of all, I help you go from intellectually knowing all this juicy information to permanently embodying it. Your mind is powerful enough to heal your body without medicine. That's essentially the placebo effect in a nutshell. Your mind is powerful enough to make you drunk on sugar pills you think are alcohol. Your mind is powerful enough to cure diseases that doctors said were incurable. This isn't theory. This is proven, documented, scientifically verified. It's called the placebo effect. And if your mind can do all of that, if your belief alone can literally change your body chemistry, your physical reality, your health, why couldn't you manifest money, love, success, anything you want? So let's start with what the placebo effect actually is and what it proves. In medical studies, researchers give some patients real medicine and other patients sugar pills, fake pills with no active ingredients. The patients aren't told they are getting fake pills, obviously. They're given the pills and told they're the real deal. And here's what happens. A significant percentage of the people taking the fake pills get better. They get the same effects, or even sometimes better effects than the patients taking actual medicine. Why? How could this be? Obviously, it's not because of the sugar pills. But I'm going to point out here, likewise, we can also assume the same about the patients that received the actual medicine and got results. It's not because of the actual medicine. So it's not because of the pill, but because their belief in the pill. Their mind believed the pill would heal them, and their body responded to that belief. Dr. Joe Dispenza documents cases where this goes even further. In one study, people were given a placebo that they were told was alcohol, sugar water, no alcohol at all, and they got drunk. Their body chemistry changed, their behavior changed, they exhibited all the signs of intoxication from sugar water because they believed it was alcohol. In another study, people with Parkinson's disease were given a placebo they were told would help their symptoms. And their brains started producing dopamine, the exact chemical their disease prevents them from producing. The placebo didn't produce the dopamine, their belief did. And here's the most powerful part. Dr. Joe Dispenza writes, the placebo effect is proof that when you change your mind, you can change your body and your life. Your belief doesn't just affect your thoughts. It affects your body chemistry, your physical reality, your circumstances. This is what Neville meant when he said assumptions harden into fact. Your assumption, your belief, doesn't just influence reality, it creates reality. The placebo effect proves it. If your mind can heal your body without medicine, if your belief can change your brain chemistry, make you drunk on sugar water, cure diseases, then your belief can absolutely manifest money, love, success, or anything else you desire. Same mechanism, same power. So let's break down how this actually works. How belief creates a reality. Well, Dr. Joe Dispenza explains it like this. Your thoughts send signals to your body, and your body responds to those signals as if they're real. When you believe something is true, your brain doesn't distinguish between belief and reality. It responds to both the exact same way. If you believe you're in danger, your body produces cortisol and adrenaline, even if there's no actual danger. If you believe you're loved and safe, your body produces oxytocin and serotonin, even if nothing external has changed. Your body is responding to your belief, not to external circumstances. This is 100% of the time. This is why the placebo works. You believe the pill is medicine, so your body responds as if it received medicine. And this is exactly what Neville taught. Neville said you must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not think about it, not hope for it, assume it, believe it, feel it as already true before there's any proof. This is exactly the work I do with my clients. I help them shed the false layers of programming and conditioning that is obscuring their true identity and their true nature of being infinite, eternal, powerful, and limitless. If you want some help with this in your own life, check out the link in the description or in the pinned comment. You can book a free one-on-one strategy call with me. Back to the show. Because when you assume something is true, when you believe it, at the level where your body responds, your entire system reorganizes to match that belief. Dr. Joe Dispenza writes, the moment you start feeling the emotion of your future reality, in the present moment, you're changing your body chemistry to look like the event has already happened. Let me say that again. The moment you start feeling the emotion of your future reality in the present moment, you're changing your body chemistry to look like the event has already happened. Your body doesn't know the difference between an imagined experience and a real one. If you feel it, if you believe it, your body responds as if it's real. I think he also refers to this as remembering your future. I love that. When your body responds as if it's real, your reality reorganizes to match. Because what does that mean that your body responds as if it's real? Well, now we're talking about your frequency, your vibration, your state of being that you're inhabiting. And when you're tuned to the desired frequency, when you rest in the state of the wish fulfilled, reality fills in to match that frequency or that state of being. This is the placebo effect. This is the law of assumption. Same mechanism. Your assumption or belief creates reality. So now let's talk about how you actually use this, how to harness the placebo effect to manifest what you want in your life. Neville said, an assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact. Let me break that down. An assumption, even if it's not currently true in your 3D reality, if you persist in it, it will become true. This is essentially the placebo effect in action once again. The sugar pill isn't real medicine, but if you believe it is, if you assume it will heal your body responds as if it's real medicine. The assumption, though false, hardens into fact. Same thing with manifesting. You want money. You assume you're abundant. Even if your bank account is empty, you make the assumption, I am already abundant. Even though the evidence denies it, it will harden into fact. You want love. You assume you're chosen. Even if your SP hasn't texted, you make the assumption, I am loved and chosen. Even though the evidence denies it, it will harden into fact. You want success. You assume you're successful, even if the 3D doesn't reflect it yet. You make the assumption, I am successful. Even though the evidence denies it, it will harden into fact. The assumption, though currently false in the 3D, will harden into fact if you persist in it. Why? Because your body and your subconscious don't know the difference between assumption and reality. When you assume something is true, when you feel it as true, your entire system responds as if it's already happened. Joe Dispenza says your body is your subconscious mind. It doesn't know the difference between an experience in your life that creates an emotion and an emotion that you created by thought alone. So when you assume you're abundant, when you feel the emotion of abundance, your body responds as if you've already received the money. When you assume you're loved, when you feel chosen, your body responds as if your SP is already devoted to you. And when your body responds as if it's real, your reality reorganizes to match. This is why Neville said you must persist in the assumption, because persistence is what allows the assumption to harden into fact. You can't go flip-flopping back and forth from chosen to not chosen, abundant to not abundant, worthy to not worthy, and expect something to harden into fact. The double-minded man should expect nothing from God. I think that's a quote from the Bible. Not because you're unworthy if you're double-minded. No, it's nothing like that. It's simply because you're sending mixed signals. So it will create the illusion of nothing. Just like the placebo only works if you actually believe the pill is real. Now, here's what most people get wrong, and this is what breaks the placebo effect. They assume for a little while, they feel it, they believe it, and then they check the 3D. They look at their bank account to see if the money showed up yet. They check their phone to see if their SP texted. They monitor their circumstances to see if anything changed. And when you see nothing changed yet, they think it's not working. And right there in that moment, They broke the placebo. Dr. Joe Dispenza says, the moment you go back to your old feelings, the moment you return to the emotion of lack or fear or unworthiness, you signal your body to return to the old state. The placebo only works as long as you persist in your assumption. The moment you doubt, the moment you check and conclude it's not real, you break the spell. This is exactly what Neville warned when he said, do not deny your assumption in order to see it objectified. In other words, don't break your assumption by checking the 3D to see if it's real yet. The assumption has to be persisted in. The belief has to be held, even when the 3D hasn't caught up yet. Because remember, the 3D is always delayed. Just like a placebo doesn't heal your body instantly, it takes time for your body to respond to the belief and create the physical change. Same thing with manifestation. You assume, you believe, you feel it as real, and then there's a delay before the 3D reorganizes to match. But if you break the assumption during that delay, if you check and doubt, you stop the process. Don't blame the system, you're doing that. The placebo only works if you maintain the belief. So here's how you actually maintain the assumption, how you keep the placebo effect active. Step 1, decide what you want and assume it's already done. Not hope, not wish, assume. Joe Dispenza says you have to feel the emotion of the future event before it happens. Neville says assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Same instruction. Feel it now, not when it shows up. Now. If you want money, feel abundant now. If you want love, feel chosen now. If you want success, feel successful now. This is the placebo. You're taking the pill of your assumption and believing it's real. Step 2, persist in the assumption regardless of what the 3D shows. This is where most people struggle. The 3D still looks the same. Nothing's changed. And they think it's not working, and they abandon the assumption. But as Joe Dispenza explains, the moment you start to feel the emotion of the event before it happens, you're no longer living in the past, present reality. You're living in the future, present reality. You're in a different reality, a reality where it's already done. The 3D hasn't caught up yet, but you're already living from that new reality. This is what Neville meant by living in the end. You don't wait for the 3D to change. You live as if it's already changed. You maintain the assumption. Step 3, don't break the placebo by checking. Every time you check, every time you look for proof, you're doubting, and doubt breaks the placebo. You wouldn't take a pill for a headache and then check every 30 seconds to see if your headache is gone. You'd take the pill and trust it's working. Same thing here. You assume, you persist, you trust. You don't check the 3D to verify. You maintain the internal belief regardless of what the external shows. This is the faith that moves mountains. Notice the greatness of that statement. It didn't say faith moves some small mounds of dirt sometimes. No. Step 4, let your body respond. This is the key that Dr. Joe Dispenza emphasizes. Your body has to feel it, not just your mind. You have to generate the emotion in your body as if the thing has already happened, because your body is what signals to your reality. Your body is what creates the chemical change. Your body is what the universe responds to. So you feel it in your body as real, as done. You feel the relief of already achieving your desired end. Relief is the feeling that you're going for here, not ecstatic, over the moon joy, just a sense of calm. It's doneness. And let your body stay in that state. Here's the most powerful truth from both Dr. Joe Dispenza and Neville Goddard. You are the placebo. Joe Dispenza writes, "You are the placebo," which means you have the power to change your body and your life by thought alone. Neville said, "You are God. You are the creator of your reality." Same truths, different words. You don't need an external pill. You don't need external circumstances to change first. You don't need permission or proof. You are the placebo. You were born with this power. It is innate within each and every one of you. Your belief is the medicine. Your assumption is the creative force. Your consciousness is the power. And when you really get this, when you understand that you have the same power that heals bodies, that changes brain chemistry, that makes people drunk on sugar water, you stop waiting, you stop doubting, you stop checking. You assume, you persist, you create because you are the placebo. Most people will hear this and still wait for external proof, still check the 3D, still doubt their power. But, if you're here, you're definitely not most people and definitely not doing that anymore. You understand now that your belief is the creative force, that you are the placebo, that your assumption creates your reality, and you're not waiting on anything ever. And if you're ready to fully embody this, if you're ready to use the power of your belief to manifest everything you want, if you're ready to stop waiting for the 3D and start creating from pure consciousness, there's a link in the pinned comment where you can book a free strategy call with me. We'll talk about where you're breaking your assumptions, where you're checking instead of persisting, and how to maintain the placebo effect long enough for your reality to reorganize. This is the work that creates so much change in your life. It changes everything. This is the work that makes you unstoppable. You are the placebo. Now it's time to use that power you already have. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.